Good evening, everyone. We'll call to order the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, November 14th, 2024, 6 p.m. I'd like to invite Daniel Beard with Action Church, if he'll come forward, provide our invocation, and lead us in our pledge, if everyone will stand.
Let's pray. Father, we're thankful that we can come here this evening. All who remains here are safe. Father God, we're thankful for the cooler days, the cooler weather, but we miss the sun. We're thankful that the sun rises each and every morning. I thank you, God, for these servants, our mayor, our city council, our city manager, our city staff, including our law enforcement and fire men. I give thanks for the service they have chosen to take up on behalf of all of us here. I pray for this council meeting tonight. Give the council members and those that I've mentioned wisdom, guidance as they deliberate and make decisions on the agenda items before them. May every decision be acceptable in your sight for the citizens and taxpayers' benefit and for your glory. And so we pray that you would be glorified tonight for the decisions of the city council. We pray that we will have the eyes to see how our lives are all connected and how our common good is upheld when we listen and respond to those most vulnerable among us. We pray that your kingdom would come even here in East Ridge as it is in heaven. We pray for wisdom and for strength and for courage to do what is right and for good for all of our citizens. May we put the interests of others above our own. May we act with love for the common good. May we be good neighbors, recognizing your image in every person here. I pray this evening in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Mayor Williams.
Here.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Here. Councilmember Cagle.
Here.
Councilmember Tyler.
Here.
Councilmember Witt. City Manager Miller.
Here.
City Attorney Litchfield.
Here. All right, the next item on the agenda is milestone awards for October 2024. This is where we recognize milestone service achievements for our employees, for their hard and dedicated service to our city and our citizens. And we've got 3 this month. Billy McKeel, 20 years of service here with the city. Ashley Hewitt, 15 years. And Sam Roystacker, 5 years. So we congratulate them and thank them for their service to our city. The next item is the consent agenda. So this is the approval of the minutes for October 24th, 2024 council meeting and the declaration of surplus property, Parks and Rec, Building Maintenance, Street Department. I assume everyone's had an opportunity to review this consent agenda, and I will entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Haynes and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any corrections or discussions? See none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, consent agenda approved. We'll move to the next item, communications from citizens. This is an opportunity for any citizen, resident to come forward and address the council with any questions, concerns, or accolades, and everyone would have up to 5 minutes. There was no one logged in, but if there is anyone in the audience who'd like to come forward, now's your opportunity. I see no one. We'll move to the next item, communications from council members. I'll start on this side. Councilmember Tyler.
Nothing for me, Mayor.
Councilmember Witt.
I would like to thank everybody who voted for me. I look forward to working for 4 more years, and I want to congratulate Jeff Ezell.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
I'd like to echo the same thing. Congratulations to Councilmember Witt on another 4 years, and congratulations to my friend Jeff Ezell, high school friend, and I know you'll do a great job.
Councilmember Cagle.
I really don't have anything, but just like to thank the people that's interested in running, Ms. Breezel, Ms. Witt over here, so that's about it tonight.
Thank you, thank you. All right, I got a few things. So You may all remember Jeffrey Stubblefield, the young man that won the TriStar Award back in 2021. He won the TriStar Read competition, reading thousands and thousands of items, and he was presented the award from the governor back in 2021. Well, I was just notified by his dad, John, that he finished first in the state of Tennessee and seventh in the country in the Math Kangaroo math competition for a fifth grade level. That is an international math competition with over 6 million participants. He continues to excel and is now attending Macaulay as a sixth grader. So our congratulations goes to him. And he was at the actual the time capsule and everything. Him and the family were there, so I got to congratulate him in person too for this. But he's truly amazing. His future is bright, and he is very intelligent young man, and lives here in East Ridge. Next thing is, so congratulate them. We were honored to attend the Candlewood Suites grand opening back, since this occurred after the last council meeting. We appreciate JSK Group for their commitment and their investment. 82 beds, $11 million investment. It's a beautiful facility down there, just adding to another amenity that our city has for a hotel. Likewise, with the other congratulations, I'd like to thank the city council candidates, Andy Witt, Jeff Ezell, and Stan Allen, for their commitment and dedication. I know each of them personally, and inspired by them in their passion to betterment of our city, and their willingness to step forward and advocate for the city speaks volumes, and I deeply appreciate their time, their effort, and the heart they put into success. And continued involvement with their community is invaluable. I want to congratulate incumbent Andy Witt for a re-election, and Councilmember-elect Jeff Ezell. Look forward to working with both of them and continuing strides forward with a brighter future and continuing the momentum and the progress for the city of East Ridge. Also wanted to mention, we also, this week was the Veterans Day. I want to also state that, we're honored to have brave men and women who served in our armed forces and sacrificed and courage and dedication to help preserve the freedom that we hold dearly. So I wanted to mention that as well. Just a few hours ago, we had the Pioneer Frontier 30th anniversary and time capsule opening. It was a great ceremony. Kudos to Hannah Spear for her tirelessly work, and I hate to tell me if you don't want to, but I'd love for you to come up here and just tell us a little bit about what went on. Is that okay? I didn't prep you, but she put a lot of work into it. It was fantastic. We've had a lot of the people that were involved in the very beginning of it. They were recognized. You can talk a little bit about the time capsule, but I want to give you a spotlight. You've done a great job on this, so if you want to kind of give us an update of what just happened, it was awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you for doing that, and you gave that much better justice than I could have given because you were so detailed into that. That was awesome. Thank you. I won't go into the details, but we still have open soccer signups through the 27th for all age groups. We've also got basketball registration through November the 17th. Go to the East Ridge Parks and Rec social media or their website, and you can get some more information about that. Also, the Christmas parade's coming soon, Saturday, November the 23rd. 6:30 lineup starts at 3:30. And then Community Thanksgiving is going to be on the 26th. And I think it's start serving at 4:30, and the last meal will be served at 7:30. And then the last thing that I have is tomorrow we have another event going on. So we will be doing the pavilion groundbreaking at 1:30 tomorrow. It's a continuation of our town center concept that I and several on the council wants to keep enhancing. It's 12,000 square foot pavilion containing about over 7,000 of event space, and it's designed to be a versatile space for all kinds of community events. So we're very excited to officially break ground because there's already dirt moving and there's already machinery over there. So it's awesome. So that's all that I have, and so I will now pass it over to City Manager Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. Want to let everybody know the North Mac Smith Road reconstruction or widening project, because of the utility work that continues out there with the gas is completed, EPB is completed, but we still have the cable company that needs to do their work. Due to the lateness of the season, the contractor, Adams Contracting, wants to start this project in around mid-February to March 1st. So they're not going to try to start in December or January with the inclement weather that they would be up against during those several months. Just to kind of piggyback on what the mayor said about the groundbreaking, with the pillar construction for the 12,000 square foot multi-purpose, they've already started work. They started the week of November 4th. They're back there grading the site and preparing the retention pond for the full rear of that property. They should be completed with a lot of that within the next week, and then we're going to start seeing them starting with the footers and so forth. So due to the start or notice to proceed given to them on November 4th, they have 360 days to complete that project in total. So substantial completion hopefully will be the end of October, beginning of November of 2025, right in time to start booking events for Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's what we're looking for. So that's going to be a great addition for the middle part of the city, kind of our town center per se. And then lastly, I want to say to Councilwoman Esther Helton Haynes, I've enjoyed working with you for the past 2 years, my second stint, and 2.5 years, my first stint. It was really an honor, and I appreciated your support and working along with you with all these projects that we're doing now and will do in the future. So thank you. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. And I was going to say my speech until the inauguration about your service and commitment to it. So, but thank you. All right, so we'll move to the to old business. Item 8, A under 8, ordinance number 1211.
An ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend East Ridge Municipal Code Title 20, Chapter 2, which chapter is known as the East Ridge Air Pollution Control Ordinance, by removing affirmative defense provisions, providing for incorporation by reference of the most current of various federal regulations, and providing for certain housekeeping provisions.
Thank you, sir. This will be the second and final reading. Mr. Miller, is this?
Yes.
Okay.
Just briefly, I think the city attorney mentioned what is inclusive in this. We're trying to bring this, all the cities up to code with the counties. Air Pollution Control Bureau, they've asked that all the cities participate and adopt this legislation to amend some of our rules and regulations regarding excess emissions and revisions pertaining to the lower of the national ambient air quality standard and incorporation by reference of the most current of various federal regulations. So that's what this is about.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1211.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 1211.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Tyler to approve ordinance 1211. Do we have any discussion? See none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt. Mayor Williams.
Yes. Move to item B, resolution number 3611.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Waste Connections of Tennessee, DBA City Waste LLC for solid waste disposal transfer station services.
Thanks, sir. This was an item that we passed from the October 24th meeting. So, Mr. Miller?
Yes, just to, to reiterate some of the provisions of this agreement. It'll be a 5-year agreement starting night we adopt, or the following day we adopt it to 1 year from that date. It would be at a rate of $43.75 a ton. We process about 800 tons a month. And the other provision would be, it calls for an annual adjustment to the rate on an annual basis based on the CPI for all urban consumers, U.S. city average. However, it notes garbage and trash collection. So when you see one CPI, it's not that one. You go down the whole list, you got about 3 pages, and down, halfway down of the whole 3-page list, you'll see garbage and trash collection. That CPI is usually higher than the annual CPI that we go by. The length of the agreement shall not extend beyond 8 years, and there would be a minimum 30-day cancellation by either party prior to the expiration of the current term. So to kind of give you an idea, we did receive 3 bids for city solid waste disposal services. We're currently paying $33.91. We were currently paying that. We're not paying that now. The low bid was Waste Connection, the one you have in front of you, doing city waste at $43.75 a ton. And then the next one, lowest bid, was BFI, doing business as Republic Services at $53 per ton, and Capital Waste Services at $55 a ton. We got nailed heavily on increase in regard to waste management services and disposal services. Anybody who was in this process were noting $10 to $20 more a ton, which is going to cost the city additional money, and we'll probably let everybody know that we'll probably be looking at a slight increase in disposal services starting July of 2025. This was held off at the last meeting because there were several sections of the text which I had a problem with. I have met, along with the city attorney, with their regional manager. We tried to iron out a good port, all of them. He took it back to his attorney and to his administration. We got their response 2 days ago, and city attorneys I've had conversations with the regional manager. The city attorneys has had conversations with their attorney. We still have one little sticky point, which is in section 3 and section 10 of the agreement. So I'm going to turn it over to Mark and have him address that, if you would, please, Mr. Litchford.
Okay, sure. Yeah, we good communications with the representatives of City Waste, but there are two provisions that we're trying to marry. That really comes down to the demand by the vendor, City Waste, to want the city to guarantee that no unapproved or unacceptable waste is deposited at their site, countering that with the reality that while it is not permitted, we know people put things in trash cans that is not approved items, and the city doesn't look in the trash cans every single one. They may look at some, so if you're out there, obviously know you could get busted, but we're trying to really harmonize those two provisions so that we get good protections for the city. Otherwise, they want to be able to terminate the agreement. And we can't really afford for a contract to just be terminated without an opportunity to cure. And so we had good conversations. City Manager Miller and I met even is right at about 5 o'clock again tonight. We think we're very close. So I think it's in a position where the money aspect of it's not changing. None of the per ton is not going to be modified. The terms aren't going to be, still 5 years. So it's appropriate if there's the will of the council to approve it, subject to modifying sections 3 and 10 to the approval of the city manager and me, then it's right for a decision tonight if you all want to do it.
I'd like to make a motion that we pass this again till the verbiage gets exactly like we want it. You know, to keep us having to come back, and because you all may not make an agreement.
That's right.
That's right, so that's what I'd make a motion to
Okay.
pass it till you all get the verbiage like y'all want it.
Second.
All right, we got a motion by Councilmember Cagle and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes to pass. Do we want to set a hard, do we think we want to pass to a hard date, or do we?
It needs to be done the next round,
Okay. All right.
next council meeting.
All right, so that one is going to be,
Well, I'm
Are
sorry.
we passing it with the condition? Are we adopting this tonight with the condition, or we're just going to?
Pass it
motion
on.
was passed to the next council
Got it,
meeting.
okay. Got it.
So that'll be the December the 12th.
December 12th, okay.
All right, any comments, discussion? See none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes,
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. All right, that's the last of the old business. We'll move to new business, item A. This is a public hearing for ordinance number 1212. We'll go ahead and read the caption, and then I'll open up the public hearing.
Public hearing for ordinance number 1212, an ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the city of East Ridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 6728 Ringo Road from R3 Apartment District and C1 Tourism Commercial District to C2 General Commercial District, and to rezone an unaddressed property in the 6700 block of Ringo Road from C1 Tourism Commercial District to C2 General Commercial District.
Thank you, sir. I will open up this public hearing. Mr. Howell, do you want to come up and give us a briefing, and then I will bring, if the applicant is here and would like to come and address, and anyone that is in favor or opposed would have an opportunity to speak as well. Mr. Howell.
Yes, Mayor and Council. So the proposal to rezone to two parcels at 6728 Ringold Road from R3 Residential Apartment District to C1 Commercial Tourism District aims to bring the current usage into conformity. As it stands, the two parcels are legal non-conforming to their current use. Rezoning them to C2 General Commercial District would enable the Camping World to utilize the parcels as intended and establish a harmonious balance within the already established adjacent commercial districts. The Planning Commission did approve the request to rezone.
Thank you, sir. Is the applicant here? If they are, would you like to come forward and add any additional to it, or are you good? Okay. All right, anyone in the audience that is in favor of or opposed would like to come forward, this is your opportunity in this public hearing. I see no one, so I will close this public hearing and we'll move into the actual ordinance.
Ordinance number 1212, an ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend the zoning regulations and the zoning map of the city of East Ridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 6728 Ringo Road from R3 Apartment District and C1 Tourism Commercial District to C2 General Commercial District, and to rezone an unaddressed property in the 6700 block of Ringo Road from C1 Tourism Commercial District to C2 General Commercial District.
Thank you, sir. Reading that again, this is the first reading, so council, I will entertain a motion for ordinance number 1212.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 1212.
Second.
Have a motion approved by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Councilmember Whit. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, ordinance number 1212 approved first reading. Thank you, sir. We will move to item C, ordinance number 1213.
An ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend the fiscal year 2025 operating budget, ordinance number 1206, by changing the revenues and expenditures of various funds.
Thank you, sir. This will be the first reading. Ms. Qualls?
Yes, as you know, we're required by state law, if we receive revenues or we have unexpected expenditures, that we have to amend the budget. And so this reflects where we've gotten some money in grants and the expenditure. The federal forfeiture, if you remember, y'all approved me to open a new account, and that has to be in a separate fund, so it's reopening that fund. And then the debt service, if you remember, right at the end of '24, we closed a bond issue for $8 million on the 28th of June. So I had to amend the budget to show the payment that will come out this year. And then in the capital projects, it was different things we've been working on that we did not expect that we're having to come out, or when we were setting the budget, we didn't get all of them. So this is just to correct that. And if you notice, in some of it's going to say use of fund balance, and that means that a little may have to come from, because each fund has its own fund balance, that it will come from their fund balance, any extra. If we get more revenue, then it would be a lesser amount. But to show balanced, I have to show the ability that we will use fund balance. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, I'll entertain a motion for ordinance number 1213.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 1213.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Whit and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, ordinance number 1213 approved. First reading. We'll go to item D, resolution number 3615.
A resolution of the City Council for the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing the City of East Ridge to accept the fiscal year 2024 Public Entity Partners Driver Training Grant.
Thank you, sir. Mr. McAllister.
Yes, Mayor and Council. City Administration is asking for the approval for the fiscal year 24 driver training grant through Public Entity Partners. And the city was awarded a grant this year in the amount of $2,000. And it does require a 50% match, so the city will have to spend a minimum of $4,000 to receive the $2,000 reimbursement. And this year we would like to utilize the funds to purchase additional GPS monitors to be placed in the city's vehicles.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3615.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 3615.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? I'll see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3615 approved. We'll move to item E, resolution number 3616.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the advancement of state salary supplement payments for eligible firefighters and police officers.
Thank you, sir. Chief and Chief.
Mayor and Council, we're requesting the council approve the advancement of the state salary supplement. On the police side, we have 44 officers that will be eligible this year. The state provides $800 each, which would be a total of $35,200 for the police department.
Mayor and Council, on the fire department side is the same. The numbers have changed a little bit. It's 28 career certified firefighters and $800 each, totaling in the amount of $22,400. Open before, this money will be refunded back to the city around June of 2025.
Thank you, sirs. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3616.
Second.
A motion to approve by Vice Mayor Haynes and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? See none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3616 approved. We'll move to item F, resolution number 3617.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council to approve a nomination by Councilmember Cagle to the East Ridge Beer Board.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes, sir, I'd like to reappoint Mr. Roy Cowan. He's been on the thing now for 3 years. He's done a good job. And, so I'd like to make a motion, we reappoint Roy Cowan.
All right, we have a motion to, do I have a second?
Yes, I second.
All right, we have a motion to approve Roy Cowan as Councilmember Cagle's appointment. That motion was by Councilmember Cagle and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. And we thank him for his service and his continued service, Mr. Cowan. We'll move to item G, resolution number 3618.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council to approve a nomination by Councilmember Tyler to the East Ridge Beer Board.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, I spoke with now Mrs. Cunningham. She's been recently married, and congratulations to her and her lovely husband. She is enthusiastically wanting to remain in this position. I would nominate Michelle Cunningham for this position.
Okay, so we have a nomination. I'll entertain a motion for Ms. Cunningham.
I make a motion to approve Ms. Cunningham for the beer board.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Cagle. Do we have any discussion? See none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, and we thank Ms. Cunningham for her continued service. We'll move to item H, resolution number 3619.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council to memorialize the mayor's appointment of the chairperson for the East Ridge Beer Board.
Yes, I would like to nominate Roy Cowan to continue as the chairperson of the East Ridge Beer Board. So I'll entertain a motion for,
I make a motion to appoint Roy Cowan as the chairperson for the beer board.
Second.
we have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do you have any discussion? See none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. We'll move to item I, resolution number 3620.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council approving a bid for the replacement of a portion of the roof on the City Hall complex, specifically the portion of the roof covering the East Ridge City Library.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. We discovered several weeks when we had the 2 hurricanes that came up and brushed by us several months ago, in October actually. In the library, it was leaking through to on the floors, the shelving, the aisles. Couldn't have that. So we went up and inspected the roof and found out that it had been patched many times over the years. So we felt that we need to go out for replacement of the roof over the library, which is about 4,560 square feet. We solicited bids from contractors for replacement of that roof. We received 7 bids, ranging from $39,995, which was AK Roofing and More, to $98,883, Ross Services Corp. The majority of the bids came in between $49,000 and $55,000. We did a reference check on some of the work that the low bid of AK Roofing and More did. You have their results at the end of this agenda item. Checked on 3 roofing projects that they did. One was La Quinta Hotel. Anyway, we found that there being the lowest bid, they were also found to be the most responsible bidder. The reference checks came back positive, so city staff and management is recommending that the bid for the replacement of the roof over the library be awarded to AK Roofing and More in the amount of $39,995. The funding would come from the appropriation in the capital project fund, which is called upgrades to buildings, various sites. We have $314,000 balance in that right now, so we do have the money to be able to do this work.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3620.
Motion to approve Resolution 3620.
Second.
A motion approved by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3620. Excuse me, approved. We move to item J, resolution number 3621.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council approving a bid for in-car tablets and mounting solutions for the police department.
Thank you, sir. Chief Usleton.
Mayor and council, we're seeking permission to purchase 10 ruggedized window-based tablets with keyboards and the mounting solution to put them inside the patrol cars. These are to replace other laptops that are basically just getting aged. They did go out for bid on October 6th. We received 2 bids, one from Midwest Public Safety for $45,340, and 1 bid from Dairy Software for $32,726.70. We recommend accepting the bid from Dairy Software.
Thank you, sir. Council will entertain a motion for resolution number 3621.
Make a motion to approve Resolution 3621.
Second.
A motion approved by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? See none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3621 approved. We'll move to item K, resolution number 3622.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the city manager or his designee to purchase and have installed a shade structure for the splash pad from Game Time through the Omnia Partners Cooperative Purchasing Program contract listing number 201-700-1134.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Stiles.
Yes, Mayor and Council. The Parks and Rec Department is seeking council's approval for the purchase and installation of a shade structure here at our splash pad. When the splash pad was originally designed, it included a shade structure on the opposite side, and it was taken out because it was over budget. So for the past few years, we've been trying to get a shade structure within our budget, and if you will look at the proposed price from Game Time, you'll see that was option 4, revised to get under our budget. Again, this was a budgeted item. It came in at $13,999.35, and we are seeking council's approval in order to purchase this and have it at our splash pad by next spring when we open.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3622.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3622.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
Is there going to be any bench seating underneath these, or are we going to move
There's-
the benches over there?
We already have 5 benches around it now. So the splash pad is kind of a U shape. We have 3 here in the back and 2 on the side. This will go in the middle because it's 8 by 8 by 10. So it'll go in the middle is what we'll look to do, unless council wants to purchase this for one side now and we go after another one next year. That'll be at y'all's discretion at some point, but right now this would go into the middle of the splash pad there of the area that we have now for seating, sir.
Yeah, perfect.
But yeah, we did put benches there last year.
Parent who uses the splash pad, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's full sun there all day.
You'll wipe
Most
out
everybody
over there.
uses the big tree that's out there now is where they sit, which, again, the kids are running in and out with the grass. So, and like I said, this was an original, the splash pad was originally designed. It was on the side where the workout equipment, that's where a big shade was gonna go. And then they swapped it over, and we ran out of money, so.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Any other questions, council? See none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes, resolution number 3622 approved. We'll move to item L, resolution number 3623.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council canceling the December 26, 2024 City Council meeting.
Council, do I get a motion?
I make
For-
a motion to, I make a motion to cancel the meeting on December 26th.
A motion to approve the cancellation of the December 26th meeting by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes. Do we have any discussion? I don't see any. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3623 approved. We'll move to item M, resolution number 3624.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council approving the street resurfacing program for fiscal year 2024 through 2025.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. We have appropriated for, in the fiscal year 2024-25 budget under the State Street Aid and the Capital Improvement Fund, the total of $1,437,976 for street resurfacing. That sounds like a lot of money, but it really doesn't cover as much as we would like to. However, we've embarked on an annual $1.5 to $1.75 million commitment to resurface roads every year. And this is the third year since I've been here that we've done that. So we want to keep that potential moving forward. The street resurfacing program, we developed that with Jeff Sykes, Chris Vaughn, street department supervisor, myself. We went out there, did an inspection of those streets that had been developed through and drafted by members of the street department as well as members of the police department, noting what streets they saw problems with. Some of the problems that were encountered were those that were spalling, severe cracking, or depression, upheaval of the pavement. The residential streets that were selected were considered either through streets or connecting streets. Again, this year we did not get involved with cul-de-sacs because they don't really are considered through streets or connecting streets, and we have so many of these streets which are in need of resurfacing to take people from one end of the community to the other end of the community. We still need to put our concentration on those. You have a list of the streets that we have drafted for your information and your approval. In many instances, only portions or segments of the street are scheduled to be milled and resurfaced versus resurfacing the entire street. When we do an entire street, it may only be several sections of the street that need attention. But when you do the entire street, we take away from other areas or other streets that have these problems with, as mentioned, spalling, cracking, or depressions or upheaval in the pavement. So if the council approves the list of streets tonight, then the rest of November and December, the city engineer, Ace Engineering, will develop the detailed drawings for bidding. We'll get this out to bid sometime in mid-January and award the bid later January, February, with work to start after March 1st. So I'm asking for your assistance right now, or your consideration for approval to approve the street list as presented in Exhibit A.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3624.
Motion to approve resolution number 3624.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Haynes and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do you have any discussion?
I just want to say thank you. We get a lot of calls about the streets, and we appreciate y'all putting this list together.
I have one, but I'll ask it after the vote.
Oh, don't tease us.
Okay, I'll go ahead and ask it. I've been called about John Ross and Seminole, and when the state's gonna do Ringo Road. And I heard today that the 2 bridges will be open by Christmas. And are they gonna do the terrace after they get that through?
I'm hoping,
Go ahead. No, I was going to let you.
I'm hoping that they do, regarding the terraces. I just want to get those darn
Bridges open, yeah.
really. As far as John Ross, that is scheduled to be resurfaced under state grant, and that's to be done next year, 2025. We have, this year we did with Brian, the road before that. I don't recall the road before that. We're also working, Ken Callister is working on a grant through the Metropolitan Transportation Planning, TPO, Transportation Planning Organization, TPO, to get North Max Smith Road from Ringgold Road to south to the state line, Georgia state line. We have allocated $1.27 million for that. Hopefully we can get that approved and get that done either in either in 25 or 26. As far as the resurfacing of Ringgold Road, I'm told 26 or 27.
Hey, you mentioned North Mac Smith, and I didn't bring it up, but some of the neighbors down there are wanting to know if that is gonna be widened to meet coming out of Georgie's 3-lane or 4-lane, whatever they've got down there.
I would say it's going to depend on what we can get done for 1.27 million, because I do not want to take hundreds of thousands of dollars away from resurfacing our through streets in our residential neighborhoods. We are behind on our resurfacing, and we just have so many streets that need to be done. And then once we get the through streets taken care of, then we've got the cul-de-sacs we have to start looking at doing. So if we can stay within that or obtain more money through the state organization, we can widen it. That's kind of our top maximum number that we're looking at.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll add, it's something that's very well needed. I'm glad this is our 3rd year that this council has proceeded, assuming this vote goes through. Very needed. We've got very deteriorated roads. And with the approach that we challenged the administration to put together a plan, they did, and now this is the 3rd year. And to City Manager Miller's point, if you've got a road, for instance, I'm looking at Marlboro's decent in most places, but if you focus on the bad areas, sections, and do it correctly, mill it, and do it completely correctly, then that extra, asphalt and road could then move to another desperate area that needs. So I like the approach. I think we're making some good progress. We just need to continue the progress in which this council is continuing to do. So I thank everyone. So no other discussion, and you're okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, there's some water. Is that what caused it? Okay. All right. Then roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes,
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3624 approved. We'll move to Item N, resolution number 3625.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council to authorize the city manager to advertise for bids for the design-build project for a sound attenuation system at the East Ridge Animal Shelter.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. Hey, Quint, you want to come up? Because we've been working on this together. We received complaints from individuals living in an apartment complex in a living facility just east on the other side of the wall from the animal shelter. Both Quint, the animal shelter is under the management of the police department. We went out there and used the sound meter where the individuals are living over there in the apartment complex, and the decibel readings are high. You can hear the dogs barking during the night. Our first solution we tried was keeping all the dogs inside, closing the guillotine doors. That really didn't do an awful lot in regard to the sound. You could still hear it. We went ahead and brought in several professionals that get involved with sound attenuation. A couple of the solutions that could be used that were brought to our attention was the hanging of baffles from the ceiling of the dog kennels, installing sound silencer acoustical wall panels, and also constructing a sound wall that would be 12 to 15 feet high in the rear with baffles attached to the outside of it. Both of them have come back saying that we would need to really make a difference in the inside noise. Put either the sound baffles hanging from the ceilings or sound silencer acoustical wall panels installed on the walls and on the ceiling of the dog kennels inside hallway. All inside. However, if we don't bring that down, inside the dog runs, maximum dB is 112. Jet engines around 125. So you can basically see the sound. We need to somehow suppress it inside, and then both the professionals said we need to look at the installation of a sound barrier wall outside to at least be higher than the roof line, so the dogs barking during the day and at night will bounce off of the soundproofing material and not necessarily hit it and go over it. So these are the two or three solutions we have in regard to suppressing the sound both inside for the workers and outside for the residents that live to the east. I would like to look at a design build scenario and go out for requests for proposals for sound for a sound wall inside and sound wall outside, and see what kind of bids we get back on that and go from there. Chief, anything you want to add?
Yeah, it's, I mean, basically, we have dogs. So if one dog barks, every dog barks. From what we've learned is that cement block, which is the majority of the building, has a 98% refraction rate. So we've got to get some materials in there that absorb that sound, keep it inside, at least inside the property as best as possible.
I should note that a ballpark figure on this, unfortunately, is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $100,000. However, we do have a balance of the contingency fund for the animal shelter project that we did and completed of $217,000 contingency that is left over. So we do have, we could use that portion of that money for the sound attenuation solutions that would come about to minimize sound inside and outside.
Thank you, sir. So you're asking for,
I'm asking for the authorization of the city council to do a design-build project, proposing a sound wall be erected on the full east side of the shelter, and two, I would do it, kind of write it this way, sound baffles to be installed inside the building, hanging from the ceiling. We have 30 kennels, dog kennels in there. We'd be looking at 2 per kennel, or 60 of them. That may be a little less expensive than going in and installing what they call sound silencer acoustical wall panels on all the hallway walls and the ceiling to reduce the decibels. Because right now, when you walk back there during the day or at night, anytime, you're talking over 100 decibel readings because those dogs will bark your head off. That's high. So that's probably the sound silencer acoustical wall panels for installation would be a little more expensive than using the acoustical.
And we have additional cleaning concerns with, if we're hanging it from the ceiling, we feel a little bit better about, you know, the architect basically described the animal shelter as a giant bathtub. It's designed to be washed, obviously, you know, keeping animals in the cleanest thing. If we're covering up our walls, it kind of defeats the purpose of some of that, of being able to spray down a lot of stuff, where if we're hanging baffles from the ceiling, I think that might be a little bit more readily useful when we clean the, you know, use the water hose everywhere.
thank you, sirs. Council, I'll entertain a motion for Resolution 3625 regarding the request for design-build project for the baffling.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3625.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
I would
One-
like,
Go
I would
ahead.
like to thank Chief Usleton and Assistant Chief Creel for allowing me to tour it today and to see what the problem is, and they definitely do have a problem.
All right, now we've addressed the back. All right, are we going to bounce this out the front door now? Do we need to?
No,
Okay.
no, we are not looking to the front. We only have, is it 5 or 6 kennels which
I
have
believe it's 6.
6 that have access to the front. I'm not too concerned about that because we're using the other kennels. We only use those 6 when we absolutely go over 24 dogs.
Right. Those kennels are a little bit smaller, Councilman, and we do have a greater distance between property lines. You know, the distance between the front of the shelter to the church is much higher distance, so it helps mitigate the sound quite a bit.
And is there other solutions we're looking at to,
These are the ones that have been presented to us, the best we can. We've got some other ideas about some possible collars that may help, you know, reduce the barking. But even with those, I think it's best practice that we do what we can to keep the sound on the
Agreed.
property.
okay,
One of the sound experts were out of Nashville. They were highly recommended by Hefferland and Cronenberg architects that were doing the multi-purpose facility, as well as the subcontracting for the expansion of the community center. And then we had a local individual that's working with the city in regard to audio-visual for the multi-purpose center, and he also on the side does sound attenuation, so we brought him on. We thought it would be best to get the materials and put together the bids for a design build, and let's see what the costs come in at.
Okay.
Rather than having them design what's needed, pay them a $8,000 to $15,000 to put the bids together. We already know they gave us the material, and then go out, we would have to go out for bid on that anyway. So we did a design build. I think that, we'd rather be able to get that done a little quicker, faster too.
okay. All right, if no other questions. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3625 approved.
Thank you.
We'll move to item O. Thank you. Resolution number 3626.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the city manager to approve the attached change order request number 1 to the professional engineering, planning, and design service agreement with Kimley Horn and Associates, Inc.
Thank you, sir. Mr. McAllister.
Yes, Mayor and Council. City administration in partnership with Parks and Recreation are asking for the approval from you all tonight to accept change order number 1 to the professional services agreement that was approved by council on May 23rd of this year, resolution number 3550. And this was the agreement between the city and Kimley Horn to provide professional services, design, and grant management for the LPRF project at the community center. Earlier in the month, we were notified by H&K or HK Architects that they would be requiring an addendum or an adjustment to the existing contract for these services because the International Building Code stated that we needed to supply a sprinkler system at the community center due to the new square footage after the renovation. Therefore, in your packet, there's an attached agreement for the change order, and the total budget would increase from $160,000 to $167,500. And the additional money will be paid for out of the Parks and Recreation budget for fiscal year 25.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3626.
Make a motion to approve resolution 3626.
Second.
Have a motion approved by Councilmember Tyler. We have a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion? See none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt. Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3626 approved. We'll move to item P, resolution number 3627.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the sale of 5.89 acres located adjacent to Jordan Run Road.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Miller.
Okay, thank you. This was brought forth to the city council at the June 27, 2024 meeting, a request from a resident that lives at the end of Jordan Run Road to purchase 5.89 acre parcel of land that is owned by the city of East Ridge. Property adjoins his property to the east and is located predominantly in a 100-year flood zone. When I received that request, I immediately sent it off to the departments, city departments, and asked, do we have any use or now or in the near future or in the future for use of this land? They all replied, no. So there is no use that we have for this 5.89 acres, which on the north side abuts the Chickamauga Creek. I got the authorization to move forward, provided that the resident would pay for the appraisal cost. That cost came in at $1,200. The appraisal was done. The estimated as-is market value came in at $35,000. The low came in at a minimum of $17,578. Talked with the property owner, and he's agreed to pay $16,800 for the land, plus the appraisal fee of $1,200 for a grand total of $18,000. Should the council accept that amount for the land, I would recommend that a condition be drafted in the deed that no structure of any sort ever be built on that portion of the lands. The owner has agreed to that and has made the proposal of, again, $18,000. I believe he is here. Would you want to address them? Okay, yeah, Mr. Dan Mauer. Mao?
Yes,
Mao, yes.
Well, thank you for considering this. I first built out there 20 years ago and talked to Larry Armour about the property at the end of the cul-de-sac. He said, well, that's not available. I didn't know they were going to build apartments, so I bought the last lot on the left. And then I noticed the apartments going up, and then after they were built, there was a steady stream of people cutting behind there and walking up my steps through my yard, and so I wanted to deal with that, but I never thought about buying it. I called Larry later and said, hey, would you sell me the property? He said, I already gave it away for a tax break to the city. So 15 years later, I called Scott and said, would you guys want to sell it? Because they hunt deer down there, and I go down there, it's kind of dangerous when they're hunting, and I thought about calling the game warden, and they constantly flow through there. When the leaves drop, they'll come through the kudzu and cut through my yard, and I just kind of wanted to stop the flow. And it will benefit me, obviously, when I sell my house to have that land added to the sale of my house, so that's certainly true. And I'm willing to sign that I'll never develop it, which basically the residential part will not be residential. And so just, that's my desire, and to stop the flow. In July, these guys had, not these guys, but some police had to come out. A homeless man came out of there, and he was bathing in my driveway, and I was at work, looked at my cameras, called the police, and they came and took him away. I guess he's just homeless or something, but, and it's just a steady, headache, but they used to come down there camping, and since you guys built the water treatment, it stopped the flow of people. They'll eventually find out they can come back there again, but you guys did close that gate, and that helps a little, but I found so much trash. People with Georgia tags come down, say they're having a campfire, and then the next day I go down and I find all the stuff that was in the back of their truck, in the woods there, and my neighbor carried a lot of it out to help, just get the junk out of there. He's a nice guy, his name's Jeremy, he helped me with a lot of it, but that's what I'd like to do.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Does the resolution need to reflect?
Right, yeah, excuse me, Mayor, yes, to the extent that it please the council, they want to approve the sale, subject to a condition that no structure of any sort could be built, that would be what the motion needs to be and seconded.
Thank you, sir, for that clarification.
There is one other, Mr. Mao, there is one other condition I'd like to add. Other than building, I would like to add, or the storage of any vehicles, supplies, or materials.
Yeah, I couldn't get anything down there because I had to come in Frawley and
Yeah, what I'm concerned about is if you sell the land, if you sell your property someday to someone else and they come in and they want to start, putting vehicles back there, or storage of vehicles or supplies or materials, I don't want that happening either.
So again, if there's a motion to approve the sale for a total of $18,000 to property owner, subject to no structure of any sort being constructed on the land, together with no storage of vehicles, materials, or supplies.
I'd like to throw this out at you, to add one more, that no road can be coming from Frawley Road into the backside. No road to be built, so he would have an entrance and an exit from Frawley Road area.
that's fine, but I couldn't get to my driveway coming down it that way because of the steep hill and I had to turn. It couldn't happen, but I'll be happy to sign that as well. And remember, that property, no one is interested.
Right, I agree.
Liability, and so, there has to remain the access for utilities to come through there, so that part
Well,
will remain where they come through, check sewage and stuff, and so we can't stop that.
Yeah, they've already got a utility easement through there, so
Right.
that wouldn't stop that, yeah. Yeah. So I make the motion to add that, no building of a road to enter and exit from Frawley Road.
Right.
So, but,
We don't have an original motion.
yeah, we don't have an original motion, so do you want to go ahead and make the motion with all three of the
Yes,
restrictions?
sir, I'll make the motion
Okay.
to approve the resolution with all three restrictions.
And those restrictions being no construction of any structure, no construction of a road or connection through Frawley Road, and no storage of vehicles, materials, or supplies.
Okay. All right, we got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Councilmember Cagle and a second by Councilmember Witt. Is any other discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Thank you, sir. All right, that was approved and passed. We'll move to item Q, resolution number 3628, and that is in your addendum packet.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the mayor to enter into a joint project agreement between the city of East Ridge and Hamilton County to turf certain athletic fields at Camp Jordan Park.
Mr. Miller, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll dispense with giving a conclusion or a summary regarding the Victus Advisor study that was completed back in mid-2024, and a presentation was made. Mayor and city staff, including Shauna and Chad and myself, met with Mayor Womp of Hamilton County Mayor, along with his management staff in mid-September to talk about the proposed improvements and enhancements that were recommended by the Victus Advisory Study, specifically the turfing of fields, soccer and baseball, and the construction of an indoor sports arena. We kind of concentrated more on the turfing of fields, and it appears that Hamilton County was looking at matching the dollars the city would appropriate for the turfing of fields. The city has the opportunity to obtain matching funds for this project. If we put in $3 million, the county will put in $3 million, and we can get some fields completed being turfed for $6 million. So I guess this time, asking the city council for direction on where they want to go with this. The resolution before you for your consideration for approval would appropriate city share $3 million for artificial turf on athletic fields. As far as the fields are concerned, the city would like to propose the 8 ball fields for 1 through 8, and also 2 soccer fields, 1 soccer field, and then the master soccer field, the arena, what do we call that one?
The stadium soccer field.
Stadium soccer field. Okay. We can get those done for a little over $6 million. So the county is going to match this, we're looking to match this $1 per dollar. This certainly has to go before the county commission. But it was kind of put on the table for consideration. If we could come up with an appropriated dollar amount, the county could match it.
Thanks, sir. And if I'll add a little bit to that is, yes, we met with the county mayor. Is very supportive to help financially support Camp Jordan. Also, in the meetings, we had a couple commissioners. If you'll remember, when we had the Victus study, Mayor Womp did contribute to that study, and when we actually had the study presented to us, we had 3 county commission members here as well. So we've got county commission support. Some, I feel we can get a majority, along with Mayor Womp is already involved. They'll look for us to make the first commitment before we can have an opportunity to go to the county commission and ask for them to match these funds. So that's why it's on this agenda tonight for y'all's consideration. So I will entertain a motion for resolution number 3628, and then I know we'll probably have some discussion.
I'd like to make a motion, we have discussion before we have a vote on the joint agreement.
Well,
On our agenda first to make a discussion, then take action. Now we've changed it to make a motion to join into a mutual agreement.
I don't know, generally under Robert's rules, the idea of a first and a second is what triggers the discussion, and then the vote occurs. You can move for discussion purposes. No action can be taken under that particular motion, but I guess what I'm saying is you don't really need to do that. There could be a first and a second, which will trigger the discussion. And again, just because you make a motion to approve does not mean you have to vote to approve. So I guess what I'm saying, Councilman, is if you want to move to approve, again, you're not locking yourself in. You get a second. The rules, Robert's rules, is that's the design of it. First, second, and then discussion opens up. I'm not certain Robert's rules addresses a motion for discussion purposes only.
Well, the reason why I brought it up is because way we're wanting to vote on it now is an afterthought, because I've got the first resolution, 3628, that reads, discussion/take action on turfing athletic fields on Camp Jordan Park. Now, this one reads that we're wanting to vote to go into a joint agreement, so I'd like to have the discussion.
You certainly have the motion for discussion purposes. No action can be taken under that
Okay.
particular one, but,
So if we take a motion for discussion purposes and get a second, then we can enter the discussion, but then it will not be a votable.
if there's nothing to vote on.
So then we'll have to then entertain another motion if we want to take action.
Right.
Okay. So I got a motion on the floor for discussion purposes. Do I
Yes,
have a
sir.
second?
Second.
Okay. We got a motion by Councilmember Cagle for discussion purposes and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Yes, sir.
All right, I'll get started here. Back in October of 2019, this survey here was done about the AstroTurf, synthetic turf, artificial grass. And it reads that parents and communities have long worried about the health risk chemicals in synthetic turf made from rubber tires, which can be contaminated with heavy metals, chemicals linked to increased risk of cancer. New lab forms tested public employees from breathing chemicals from the off gas into the air, according to the Children's Environmental thing. I'm gonna step on down. I don't need to read all of that. And the PFASs are called forever chemicals, which are drastic cancer-causing agents. And then I'm going to drop on down here. PEER and the Ecology Center tested 8 different samples of turf. They all tested positive for total fluorine, which suggests the presence of PFAS. PFAS are used in the manufacturing process to make the turf blades pliable enough for extrusion. The organization tested for 36 types of PFAS, but there may be many other PFAS in synthetic grass. Now let me go over here to this page, and it says things that parents should do. And it starts out, if you're concerned about children playing on or near to artificial grass, take these precautions. Don't let children play on artificial turf with bare feet. Keep young children, babies away from turf whenever possible to prevent ingestion. Ensure thorough hand washing before kids eat, drink, or adjust their mouth guards. Get kids to the shower, brush their hair as soon as possible after playing on turf. Remove shakeout shoes, other gear immediately after playing and before going inside. Vacuum your car and home regularly to get rid of the contaminants that migrate from the field. All right, now that one's 2019. Here is one from 2022. I've highlighted this one right here. It's basically the same thing on the first 2 or 3 sentences. It says, numerous studies have shown that chemicals identified in artificial turf, including polychloric aromatic hydrocarbons, they got it shortened here as PAHS, phtalates, and per and polyfluora, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, substances PFAS are known carcinogenics, neutral toxins, mutagens, endocrine disruptors, and these are all cancer-causing agents. Here's another one, 51424. This was done by Oakland, California, the Center for Environmental Health, where they went out, done a study, then they went and sent legal notices to Home Depot and Lowe's to stop them from selling the artificial grass turf that they sell for home use. And let's see right here. Here's more warnings. If you touch artificial turf, wash your hands thoroughly with soap, water, following contact, limit exposure to artificial turf. If you have children, limit playing time on Turf, ensure hands and other body parts that come into contact with the turf do not end up touching their mouths. Consider natural landscaping materials and other drought-resistant garden ideas instead of artificial turf. And this is the California Attorney General. They finalized legal agreements to end health threats from lead in artificial turf with Field Turf, the nation's leading maker, installer of artificial turf fields. It's called the Beulah Group, the leading supplier of indoor-outdoor grass to retailers, including Home Depot, Ace Hardwares, and others. The agreement set a legal limit of no more than 50 parts per million of lead in turf sold in California. Previous CEH testing found more than 300 times that amount of lead in one field turf. So this is to me, is very dangerous stuff that we're going to put down here to let our kids play on. And here's another one that's done in May of 2024, Hidden Dangers Artificial Turf Understanding. Turn over here where I've got these marked. I don't need to read all of that, but the legislation push to California is backed by scientific studies highlighting persistence and toxicity of PFAS lawmakers. The state's initiatives reflect growing recognition of the need to address the widespread contamination caused by these forever chemicals. Okay. Austin, they've done their own studies, and they have banned artificial turf. Maplewood Township's done the same thing. And artificial turf fields, particularly those with recycled rubber crumb infield, can leach PFAS into the surrounding environment. Rainwater runoff from these fields can carry PFAS into local waterways, contributing to water pollution. Additionally, the disposal of an old artificial turf fields presents significant challenges as the materials cannot be easily recycled and may end up in the landfills, further contributing to environmental. So if we decide to go this way, then we're going to have to talk to TDEC to see if we're going to have to build drainages, raise the property, or whatever. So we need to talk to them. And I got four more here that take time here to discuss them. One of them is real interesting. This called, I'm going to start with this one right here. Work right. Okay. Okay, turf gets so hot that if outdoor temperatures reach 80 degrees Fahrenheit, sports coaches have to start thinking about restricted activity on the surface. 2017 studies showed it could intensify the urban heat island effect, harming people and the environment. Now, let's see right here. All right, in March, the Philadelphia Inquirer reported that 6 former Major League Baseball players who spent much of their careers on the turf at Veterans Stadium died of brain cancer. The artificial surface has been linked to other health problems scientists that say can be the result of forever chemicals and other toxics leaching into the environment. All right, that's one of them there. Let me go to this other one over here. This was a caption on it. City officials outlaw common landscape tactic once taunted as a solution drought. Now this is talking about the towns out in the west. It says Marlboro City Council passed an ordinance that bans the installment of artificial turf, synthetic grass, and mandates proper maintenance of existing turf if it was installed legally. All right, now, talking about this stuff being made with the plastic, are concerned with the impacts on the stormwater, aquatic life, things of that nature. The other one, I've got 4 of these here, so, New Jersey legislation has called on the Department of Environmental Protection to stop using Green Acre money to install artificial turf, concerns about the potential harmful effects of synthetic grass. They passed a resolution on it, where they stopped it. Here, where they're addressing that you can't recycle it, so they get dumped into the landfill. So there, the turf fields don't absorb water. It offers sure footing and are easier to convert multi-purpose use for soccer, lacrosse. This is a pro for it. The municipalities, there is a high demand for playing fields. In March, Ocean City in Atlantic County cut the ribbon on their new thing with baseball parks and things. And then I read a study on the baseball, but I'm not going to get into that. Let's see. Go to this other one. Many of the people who install artificial turf lawns end up regretting the decision for a variety of reasons. Public parks in the city of Boston, Massachusetts no longer have the option of making that regrettable decision. The city has effectively banned any new public artificial turf installation, citing the fact that made with the toxic PFAS concept. So I'm not going to read all of this, but folks, we're messing with some dangerous stuff. We're going to put it down there. We all know the park floods. We all know that this stuff will not absorb the water. The water's got to run off, and guess what's beside it? Chickamauga Creek. So that water's going to run into the Chickamauga Creek, and for that reason, I wish we just wouldn't take a vote on this thing about putting that turf down.
Sir, Vice Mayor Haynes, you.
Yes, I would just like to say Hamilton County Schools are turfing fields currently. City of Chattanooga, UT, UTC, and pesticides can be just as dangerous. And I'm in favor of turfing fields. And if you're referencing California and New Jersey, I think that says a lot.
May I come back on Chattanooga, Hamilton County Schools? 2 of the coaches have done been on TV publicly stating that when the fields are too hot, then they have to hunt somewhere else to practice. So,
Any other discussion?
Well, I mean, you read a lot of studies. Did they happen to mention what level of exposure is considered carcinogen? Because I know peanut butter is a carcinogen, but I got to eat a dump truck of it every day in order to get cancer from it. I would need to see a little bit more from those studies.
well, they passed a thing where it's 50 milligrams per whatever, and every turf they checked after that was 300 times higher than what the legal limit was that they passed in their legislation.
I would need to see more about the studies to see the source of the scientific exploration into this, to have a more informed opinion on Mr. Cagle's presentation there. I can't say that, taken on its face, it sounds very scary, but I think with scrutiny, it could be more bark than bite. I think it's probably overblown.
I'll make one more statement.
Yes, sir.
Okay, another article I read, I didn't bring it with me, but, college coach, he called in to have his fields analyzed because he had 4 players back when this was done, that come up with cancer-causing agent, and then they proved it to be the grass, okay? Then, so many years later, ended up with 237 more people that had had it, the cancer from it, and the majority of them are goalies because they're on the ground constantly back there.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else on the discussion portion? I do think that, I don't know, we can find fault with anything if we look hard enough. We're seeing a lot of turfing going on. I don't see, I know you've got some people that have, some of these studies, I know you mentioned some of them. I don't know where some of the others were. You mentioned some in Oakland, some up in the Northeast in California. Yeah, so Hamilton County is moving toward with that. A lot of the other cities and municipalities are. It is our decision to analyze and make a decision, and make a decision for our city how we want to move forward. So I'll leave it at that. And is there anyone else? Any other discussion before we close this?
Well, I mean, this is just for turf, right? Just for the purposes of getting turf. We can discuss the kind of turf, what kind of viability or toxicity is within the turfs that are in this. So this is just to move forward with the turf. We can, look into the different kinds of turf as we're going forward, but this could be just a declaration that we want the turf.
Yeah, I'm going to ask, I know we're still in discussion, so we can go ahead. Do you want to go ahead and talk about the analysis and the proposal and the thoughts?
I would like Shauna.
We've had 2 different companies come out to the park. Both of them have done work for either City of Chattanooga, which is AstroTurf, or Baseline, which is doing all of Hamilton County stuff right now. So we've had both of those companies come out, look at doing the turf between the baseball, softball fields, and soccer fields. I don't know what all or Councilman Cagle on some of the stuff, which I've written down everything, and I will educate myself a little bit more. Like Councilman Tyler said, I eat peanut butter every day too, but I will make sure that I'm up to date on things. But again, we've had 2 different companies come out. We can, both of those companies are OmniSourcewell. We can always meet with those companies to go into detail of what we want to look for and what we want to watch for, as Councilman Tyler said, and y'all give me the direction you want to go with.
I'm going to ask you a question. So you're in open communications with a lot of these tournament directors in these tournaments, both on baseball, softball, and soccer. What are you hearing from those large, because you have some large teams? I know we book out Cam Jordan regularly.
We have a big one this weekend. How many teams do we have coming in this weekend?
200 soccer teams.
So what are you hearing from those organizations? Are they wanting to see turf? Are they?
They were all a part of the feasibility study, and turf was the top thing that they asked for. Connect Sports being one of them. CFCA, Red Wolf, same thing. Our biggest competition, as Vice Mayor, Haynes has said, Hamilton County has already turfed Harrison ball fields. They're turfing Ottawa next, and these are baseball, softball fields. Middle Valley is next, or Hickson, one of those 2 parks are next. They're already turfing the high school football fields. And to address the heat, because I've been in sports along with Councilman Cagle for a while, that happens in the summer whether we're on turf or we're on grass. That used to happen to us at Finley Stadium, to where they had to turn the sprinklers on in order to cool off the fields. We can do that at soccer. Now, baseball, we don't have irrigation over there. We've never been able to tap a well. You know, a portion of 5 through 8 baseball, we will have to build up, you know, to get it level, and we will have to build a retention pond back there. And that came from AstroTurf and Baseline both, because
And that's
those are
included in the price.
Yes, that is already included in the price, yes, sir. And we've had both of those. I mean, I've went down to Warner, I've been up to Harrison. You know, we've constructively tried to look and see what everybody's doing. Because, again, as everyone drills into my head on a daily basis with the heads and beds and Camp Jordan being our jewel, and that's why all the businesses are on the Parkway. Well, if we don't move forward with turf or doing something to be able to play, like right now, if it was still raining for tomorrow and we got 2 or 3 more inches, we're done for the weekend, where we're not on turf. And you have all of the mom and pop recreations around us adding turf. You already have Dalton, all Edwards Park, everything in Cleveland already has it. That is where the big tournaments go. We only have Connect.
I understand that. And I understand, you know, we want to capitalize on
Yes.
heads and beds and dollars. What I'm trying to get back to Mr. Councilman Cagle's kind of point is if there's these concerns and you would be hearing it from these tournament
I've
directors.
never had a club
And
say one
you're
word.
hearing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clubs and organizations that are, I wouldn't say demanding, but they're wanting it. They're wanting to play on it. They're wanting to see it.
If we had turf on every soccer field, it would be rented every night with every club in Chattanooga. I mean, the Red Wolves have already said that. The Red Wolves already use all of our fields now. Perfect example of CFCA has used North River a lot. Well, when North River closed down in July, like we do on our natural grass to grow our Bermuda in, they were coming to us because they had torn up North River so bad. And now North River is looking to get turf. So all of these clubs will be at the park, regardless if we have natural grass or we have turf. But in order to keep and retain and draw the bigger, we're going to have to be able to move with the times for Camp Jordan.
Anything else from administration?
No, I think, I'm glad that she had the opportunity. That's exactly what it's a competitive market. And if we want to bring in the larger tournaments and keep doing it, kind of got to get with the times.
Well, I was trying to separate those two
I
things.
understand.
I
No,
get-
and
I
you're
get that,
right.
I'm with that, but also if there's all these scares and these studies and all these things, I think that we would be hearing that and like, well, we're not coming to East Ridge if we're going to put turf in, but we're hearing right the opposite. They're almost kind of demanding it and wanting it. So that's kind of where I wanted to address. I totally agree with the other. We've talked about that before. It eliminates rainouts. You know, it continues the park to be profitable, which you've turned that into a profitable park. It continues that and enhances it. But I wanted to go and kind of address Councilman Cagle's point that I understand you're hearing some noise, but what we're hearing from our study and what we're seeing from our customers is they're wanting it.
Correct.
And almost demanding it. So I kind of wanted to separate those two and talk both of them kind of separately. But
All right.
is there any other discussion before we'll close the discussion? And I'll ask if there is any entertainment to make a motion for the resolution.
One more statement.
Yes, sir.
Okay. One of these articles I read, not in here, but one I didn't bring with me, NFL are having complaints from about 92% of their football players requesting to return back to grass because of due to injuries, more injuries, lower leg injuries, lower back injuries. And then another thing too, our own pro soccer team here has removed their AstroTurf because of the pro soccer teams. I forget what the association is, fixing to have a big tournament, and they can't get part of it with AstroTurf because the pro soccer players want to play on grass.
That is true. I mean, the Red Wolves pulled up their turf because your professional soccer team, you know, plays on grass, and that's how it is. So, but that's the pros. We don't have the pros coming. We have them practicing at our fields, but we have the club and the youth practicing at Camp Jordan. You know, with the NFL, kind of to address what you were saying earlier with the cancer and stuff, you kind of freak me out too. So, I mean, like literally I wrote everything down because I'm going to be looking it up. The NFL, like last year when one of the quarterbacks got hurt, I mean, those are things that we've watched and we've tried to look at those trends and stuff. But with the youth, it's not been that way. But to his point, he is exactly right. The Red Wolves did pull that up because if they ever expect to draw people here, they have to have the natural grass because that's what they play on, you know, but
Yeah,
that's the pros, that's not the
Professional players,
youth.
they cut harder, they move faster.
Correct.
Than any child would be.
So
able to.
now,
So
where the
that
Red
this
Wolves
is-
practiced on their own pro stadium soccer field every day, they don't anymore. They practice at Camp Jordan because they won't let them on the field there. Because, oh, wait a minute, 7 days a week of play tears up the field,
Right.
in which
Fair
we do
enough.
every day. They pay us to tear ours up and we fix it.
All right. No other discussion. We'll close this discussion session, and I will then entertain a motion if someone wants to make one for resolution number 3628.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 3628.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes. Do we have any other discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
No.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3628 approved. That is the last item on the regular agenda, so we'll move to the tentative agenda for the December 12th, 2024 meeting. First item will be milestone awards for the month of November of 2024. We'll also have presentations of the Christmas Parade Awards. And then moving to old business will be ordinance number 1212, an ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend the zoning regulations and zoning map of the city of East Ridge, Tennessee, so as to rezone the property located at 6728 Ringo Road from R3 Apartment District and C1 Tourist Commercial District to C2 General Commercial District, and an unaddressed property in the 6700 block of Ringo Road to C1 Tourism Commercial District to C2 General Commercial District. This would be second and final reading. This was approved earlier. This was the Camping World properties. So is there any discussion on that? I see none. The next item under old business is ordinance number 1213, an ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend the fiscal year 2025 operating budget, and ordinance number 1206 by changing the revenues and expenditures of various funds. This will be second and final reading. Ms. Qualls went through that. Is there any additional questions we have at this time? I see none. Under new business, we have an unnumbered resolution, approval of bids for Camp Jordan Arena renovations. The bid opens November 20th, 2024. Ms. Giles.
Yes, Mayor and Council. The Parks and Rec Department at this time is accepting sealed bids for the renovations of the 2 restrooms inside Camp Jordan Arena and also for having the interior of the arena painted. Those sealed bids will be received by Ms. Janet Middleton, our city recorder, and those will open next Wednesday on November 20th at 2:30 p.m.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, any questions? I see none. The next item is an unnumbered resolution approval to purchase signal cabinet for traffic control department. Is that going to be,
That would be me.
maybe you?
Yeah. We're requesting approval for the purchase of 1 pole-mounted traffic signal cabinet assembly from Temple Inc. They have supplied all the signal cabinets for the 2013 and 14 traffic signal upgrade we did on Ringgold Road years back. So the new signal cabinet, we want that to be compatible with the existing cabinets out there. This would be a replacement for a damaged or non-working pole-mounted cabinets citywide and maintain the use of replacement parts currently in stock. That's what we're asking for. The purchase price is $15,149. They're expensive.
Thank you, sir. Council, any questions? I see none. The next item is unnumbered resolution approval of nomination by Councilmember Tyler to fill a term on East Ridge Library Board. Okay,
She already got her application in.
okay. The next item is another unnumbered resolution approval of nomination of Councilmember-elect, at the time he'll be a Councilmember, Ezell, to fill in a term for the East Ridge Library Board. So, get you a notice for that. The next item is unnumbered resolution for approval of put you to work quick. The unnumbered resolution approval of addendum to Ridgeside contract for fire and police. And that's going to be Mr. Miller.
Yes, thank you. We entered into agreement, first agreement we did actually to provide police and fire was back in 2009. The latest one is the June 24, 2021. That would provided police protection services to Ridgeside and fire services to Ridgeside. That cost of the service section in the agreement called for 4% increase for fiscal year 22-23 and a 4% increase for fiscal year 23-24. The one we are looking at now, the addendum would provide for a 4% increase to the current appropriation that Ridgeside is being invoiced for July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026. Now, why are we going ahead of time? Well, if we don't do anything by the end of this calendar year, then we cannot amend the budget after that, or cannot amend, I'm sorry, the interlocal agreement between the two cities after that. We have to do it 6 months in advance. So that's why the addendums have been developed to continue the services to both police and fire services to Ridgeside. Currently, for fiscal year 24-25, which is July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025, Ridgeside is paying the city of East Ridge the amount of $83,368 for police services and $37,901 for fire services. What would be proposed for the period July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026 would be a 4% increase on both of those for police and fire.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Council, any questions? So is that about a little over $120,000 combined for both?
Yes, sir.
Then it would be 4% on top of that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just want to get my math numbers here. Council, any questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
With the new building construction going on back here, I hear rumors that we might need to consider moving the dog park. Have there anything been decided, said on that?
Not yet, but we're going to have to look towards moving that dog park and talking with staff and going back there and looking at the close proximity of our multi-purpose facility, close proximity to the dog park. I was working the other night, left Monday night, left about 7:15. There were still a bunch of dogs over there. Somewhere I can count up to 20 to 25 dogs going on at one time in the evening hours. It's very popular, and rightfully so. It should be, because a lot of communities have dog parks. However, you get a lot of barking of dogs too on, during the day on Saturday and Sunday when I come in and work in the afternoons. Dogs are out there on a nice day. Don't blame it. I had a dog too. When I did, I used the dog park also. However, this multi-purpose facility is going to be utilized for all types and kinds of community events. It's going to have on the north side and the south side 3 garage doors that will open up so that the 7,000 square foot open space area can be opened up to the outside on nice days like today. We'll have anything and everything going on there. Dinners, luncheons, birthday parties, city events, weddings, farmers market, craft shows. if we're going to open this up for weddings and dinners and luncheons, and we open up those garage doors and those dogs are barking, we're going to lose that business. That's what my concern is. Especially on wedding venues. They come over and say, I want to get a wedding. Most weddings are held during the afternoons, early or late, and the dog park's filled. When you open up those garage doors and hear the barking on, we're going to lose that venue. I'm going to tell you that right now. The reason so I think we can look at, we need to look at moving the dog park to another area of the city, and we're looking pretty much at Springvale Park, because that's what the study said back in 2016 and 17 when I was here the first time. They basically recommended it to be done at Springvale Park. So we got plenty of room over there to make it a lot larger than the one it is now. We could put 2 dog parks in, keep one open, and every several months we can switch them back and forth so that we don't have to close the dog park as we have in the past, because so many dogs utilize it, the grass turns to dirt, and we've got to be able to bring the grass back. So if we had a larger dog park where we could have it separated into 2, use one, and switch them back and forth, we can, keep the people happy with bringing their animals to the dog park. I know I pontificated a lot on that, but that's something we're going to have to consider.
Yeah, I think there's decisions that we may have to make. I think for me, and I think I'm not going to speak for other council members, I don't think we have any intent of doing away with having a dog park.
No.
Absolutely not. But we may have to rethink a few things. I do like the idea. We even talked about having an additional one too, so having a much larger one so we can phase it and cycle, so we don't have the dead grass. We don't have to have the issues with that. So, good question. I don't know we have the answer yet, but I think it's something we may have to look at.
Yes, sir.
I'd say basically everything can be reused out there.
The fence can, and a lot of I don't think the poles where the fence is tied to can, because they're in the ground. They're in the ground with concrete. We'll do our best to be able to utilize them. But yes, the fencing
The fence,
definitely.
the equipment, the benches.
Yes.
All that could be.
Yes.
Absolutely. Anything else, council? All right. Thank you, everyone. We will not meet until after our amazing Christmas parade, so I'm excited about that coming up. So hope everyone has a great evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. This meeting is adjourned.
Ryan,
Yes, sir.
swearing in is the first Monday in December.
Yes, okay. So December 9 at 6 o'clock, we will have the swearing-in ceremony for the re-election of Councilmember Whitt and the council-elect, Mr. Ezell. So that will be at 6 o'clock on the 9th. So you're more than welcome to come. We'll have a little celebration. We will have a sad parting member that we will recognize, but that'll be the night. Thanks for bringing that up.